Jake here. Today we have some very special leaks. Today we got the LEGO SpongeBob icon set of the three houses. Let's just take a look. Okay, so I put these all in Photoshop just so I can make my little zooms and everything. We have three different pictures here, two of the actual house and one of the brickheads. We're just gonna get over the brickheads. It's pretty solid. It looks like it's light yellow instead of the regular yellow, which I do really like for SpongeBob, though regular yellow is what the old figure used. I do love those old figures, and I always had a soft spot in my heart for them. And I'm very excited for these new ones, but mainly for this brickheads, I think it's just fine. This little side part looks a little weird, and he's a bit odd shaped, a bit long. Bob here. I like the color. I like all the little details. Other than that, it's just pretty mid. Now on to the actual set. We get all three houses here. This is Conch Street. Oh, we got this cool kind of like Aquaman trident kind of thing, and arrow attachment going on for Patrick's house here, and it actually does have an interior. It looks great, reddish brown and everything. You can see Squidward's house is dark blue here, which I do really like. They're all perfectly colored, and especially the minifigures, they look great. And then you got the Bob's house here. Looks quite good as well. It looks like the leaves are made out of actual pieces and not just leaf pieces sticking up. But yeah, this set looks fantastic. Let's take a closer look. That was just a little quick thingy there. We're just gonna go left to right here. We got a boatmobile, which is a molded boatmobile, which looks fantastic, I must say. I'm not sure if it's a regular Lego boat piece they did something to or what, but I personally haven't seen this to my recollection, and I think it looks great. You got a little propeller on the back there, little one of those horn pieces for cows on the front, and you can fit a windshield and a seat in there. I think that looks fantastic. And then right beside it, we get something very notable, I'd say, being a Bikini Bottom buoy. Like the little sign on the entrance to Bikini Bottom, and I love it. It looks great. I can't tell if it's a circle piece or if it's the lifesaver piece that they introduced in one of the CMFs, but I think it might just be a full circle plate, maybe 4x4 by the looks of it. But I mean, it does look good. They even have little highlights in the blue and everything, and it looks absolutely fantastic. You even have something like the coral and seaweed represented beside it. Now back to Patrick's house. I think I'm going to go in between the exterior and the interiors for each house as I go. As I said before, the exterior looks great. It's quite small, which is what you'd expect. But it does seem like this Aquaman trident to arrow piece is new, or at least this might be an attachment to something. Actually, after further thought, Aquaman trident, and it's one of the triangle pieces they used for what are those things? They are the land speeders. It completely blanked my mind there. I'm stupid. Speeder bike. I knew that wasn't right for a second. Land speeder is Luke's thing. But back to this set. I think it looks fantastic. They all come with little bases, so it seems like they can be attached to each other, which is pretty cool. Now let's look at the interior for Patrick's house. It will be pretty bare bones since it is just the size of this. They didn't go in the ground or anything, but they do recreate his little sand couch, sand lamp, and sand TV, which does get a sticker on there. I think that's pretty sweet. And of course, we see our Patrick minifigure in there, which I know has gotten a lot of flack with the first leaks, but I think looks pretty fantastic. Really tries to capture his belly, unlike that original minifigure. And I think he does a solid job. The face print looks good. I like the colors here more than was on the original. And especially with those dual legs, it's pretty much a perfect upgrade to me. Now, going to Squidward's house. This guy, you can already tell something notable about the very front. We got a Lego Doodle Bob. I mean, this guy is fantastic. They figured out a way to get him to hold that pencil and not make it look completely stupid. It's a pretty sizable thing. Once we fully get pictures, it'll be pretty cool to see. But I think it's just an orb piece at the end, which is probably not what I would have done for the eraser, just a stud and the flat stud on the top. But it is pretty cool. It looks like he's on a 2x6 tile here. I don't know if it's printed or not, but it does look good here. It captures all the necessary details for him. And I'm very excited for this. Then, moving over here, you can see our Squidward figure, which I'm a bit mixed back on. I thought I'd like it more, but it seems like they cheaped out and skipped on torso printing. Which I know Squidward only has the collar and everything, but I feel like that's still notable enough in his design that you should feature it. I mean, everything else is great. He gets dual molded arms. He gets toe prints. The original didn't have any sort of leg printing. He has a head mold. It's a just a remake of the original, unlike with Patrick and SpongeBob. We'll see. They went all out. They really did different color eyelids. You see the pupils are the red there, yellow eyes. I think it looks great. Everything about these figures seems pretty good except for that one detail there. Really, just losing that collar just makes him look so much bare and so like much cheaper. If anything, I'm gonna try to find my own custom fix for this, or you'll probably see some brands pick up and try to make something for him. Continuing on here, you can see he has a bubble wand, and the bubble stands right beside him. It looks like it might be printed because the design goes out pretty far. You see the lines basically at the edge there, and stickers you'd usually be able to tell. But I think it looks good here. You have a little bottle of the bubbles and a little sign there. I can't really read what it says, but I think it's a pretty solid build there, and it looks pretty good. For the house itself, it's basically the idealized, perfect version of it. It's so smooth and so well done. My only parts I don't like about these houses are none of them have like a back to it, except for friggin' Patrick's. But that's because it's a rock. I mean, come on. It's just irritating that we don't get like a full build, but I get how that would inflate the price a good bit. Other than that, I mean, it's such a smooth build. All the angles are captured well. I like how the windows are like these printed 2x2 circles with the lines there. I think it looks fantastic. You can see they are also reused on SpongeBob's house there. But it's such a good looking build. I also love the color of the door they went with. I believe that is either dark orange or like a medium nougat. Either way, I think it looks pretty sweet. Now let's look at the interior. We're going to start at the roof here. You can see his sunbathing chair there. Looks pretty good there. Seems like it will be tiled off for the most part up top. And it's just, a pretty simple part of the build. Going down is probably my favorite part of the house, or second favorite part of the house. We have Squidward's bathroom. And the first thing I see this bathroom, it makes me think of the scene in the SpongeBob SquarePants movie when they go in there and they're like, I love that movie. It's like my favorite. It's my favorite SpongeBob movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. You can see they captured this design. At first I thought that was like a plastic piece, but it's actually one of those curved pieces. You can tell by the bottom lip there. It looks like there's some kind of sticker or printing. I wonder if that's for like SpongeBob on the other side of it or something. Not too sure. But other than that, I think the colors are captured very well here. The shape of the shower itself looks good, and they use a barrel piece for the bottom there. It looks fantastic. You got the toilet on the side. Everything looks great. Then for the next room, we of course get Squidward's bedroom, which I think also looks fantastic. They have pretty small spaces to work with here. So I think it looks good for what it is. They really tried to capture the shape of the bed here with like the shagginess of like the top of it. And they have these nice gold beams around it, which looks great. The little lamps here look fantastic as well, with the little coral cupcake pieces on top. And he gets little nightstands on each side. Not a lot of room for figures, but you should be able to slot them in there. No way to really like stud connect him in there though. Then for the bottom, probably the most interesting and least interesting part. We get bold and brash on the wall, which is the most interesting part about the interior here. I think that's cool. That's a cool little reference. But other than that, the interior of the bottom floor is very bare bones. We don't get like his full couch or anything. No references like his kitchen or just anything. It's just a chair. It's a simple chair by itself. I mean, it looks fine, but it doesn't really give you a lot to like for the kids to like imagine for their play or anything. It just is pretty bare bones down there. But out here, we do see Squidward again. Still not really looking like there's a torso print there. Unfortunate. They even did the dot details on his head this time, which is pretty nice. He has his clarinet. It's just a bar and a cone. I don't think that's the best they could have done. There's probably some piece out there I'm not thinking of that would work pretty well for it, or they could have made a new mold. It's just a little disappointing that they did that choice there. Right beside him, he does have a music sheet. I wonder if that's like something they planned out a certain tune. Because that is actual music notes on there, so maybe it's like the intro of SpongeBob or something. For those who know music more than me and SpongeBob music more than me, maybe you could tell me what that is. But, it's just a simple little music stand. It does have like a little plant piece at the bottom, it seems to be the legs. Pretty cool. Then for my mixed section, we have Gary. Gary's sporting a new build here. A little bit different than what he used to do. It's kind of just this one piece, and then it looks like they're using the 1x3, but it's upside down. Because that's an anti-stud connection where Gary's piece is clicked in there. So we won't really be able to have a stud connection to anything, so I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, other than that, I mean, Gary's shell looks good, has all the details, nice pink and dark red for the swirl. I mean, pretty much spot on what you want. I don't like how the eyes aren't printed. I mean, I'd even take the green, like they used to use for the eyes. Maybe just do that on there, and you just deal with the blue. I mean, you just deal for the green for the like the little legs, or what would you ever call those? The little antennas going to the eyes. It seems like they just kind of cheaped out there, along with no printing or even sticker for Gary's bowl beside him here, which is a tad bit disappointing on that part. Then, for probably the most interesting minifigure, we have SpongeBob himself. As you can see, he uses the same light yellow color, which is very different from his original minifigure. And that's not the only thing different. Yeah, of course he has dual molded legs. Yeah, that's the point you want me to. That's what you wanted to point out. Not his minion arms. He's using minion arms, of course, from the Despicable Me franchise and their few Lego sets, which interests me a lot because that's a Technic pin connection. So that makes me think this whole new torso, like this whole piece, is not like just a cover like the Lego SpongeBob of the past, but a whole new torso piece, which is also supported by it seeming a little bit taller than the original Lego SpongeBob, which I'm not sure if I like, because he does look a little out of scale more compared to Squidward and Patrick. But I mean, other than that, I'm kind of mixed on this figure. I don't like the dual molded legs and only printing the black on the front of the shoe. Like, they did a little shine on there, but I feel like they wanted to go the second mile, they just do the wraparound printing. But it does seem like this is a set where it's going to look pretty from the outside, but once you look deeper, they did cut a bit of corners, which is a little disappointing for one of my favorite franchises of all time. Either way, it's still like, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 in terms of minifigures. There's a lot of improvements, but there's a few steps back which really deter these from being super high quality. Now for SpongeBob's house. This is probably the best interior out of all three. On the top, he doesn't get any sort of references up here. It's just those brick-built leaves. You can see I did do a cool job with the smoke blowing out of the little chimney here. Great colors for everything, though. I love the chimney's color there. Super accurate to the show. But you do see they use a lot of clear pieces here and the Mysterio helmet on top to do that little smoke effect, which I do think's cool. Then for the interior here, you can see they have his little megaphone, which I do think was built up pretty decently. I'm thinking there was probably a slightly better way to do it, but I'm not complaining too hard. I still think it looks pretty good. And another part I'm actually really liking here, I just noticed, is the bed has the actual new lifesaver piece, like the buoy. And I think it looks good. It's molded in green and purple, and I think that looks fantastic. He even has like a micro scale version of the ladder going up with the diving board. I mean, this bed build is just fantastic. You even have the little mattress layers on the side. And overall, I think that's a super solid build. We get no sort of references to his library or the door over here, which I get. You have a little bit of limited space to work with, but if you did make even just like SpongeBob's house a fully enclosed build, I would have liked that more, just to feature some more of his like iconic rooms, especially since this is a series so deeply beloved by so many people. I just wish we'd get a little more effort from Lego. Then downstairs, I think this looks good. The TV build is pretty solid. You can see they have the fish from the TV station on the front there. I don't think what is that? It's like some kind of greenish color was the right choice for him. Maybe like a dark blue and a sand blue kind of combo on there. That's just kind of what I'm thinking of off the top of my mind. But like that green kind of color I'm not really liking. Other than that, I mean, he looks pretty cool on there. The chair build is absolutely fantastic. I do really love how that looks. Oh my gosh. They made a reference. Oh, what was that episode? It's the one where he's inside. He has the potato chip, the napkin, and what was the last thing? A nickel. Oh, I like that. That's a cool reference. I wonder if it's printed. It looks like there's a little something on there, but it's hard to tell. It looks like there will be some kind of brick built section for like the fish on the wall. Hopefully that's printed, has some kind of detail there. But depending on where we look in the set, it does seem like they could just be skipping out on some details, which you'd think would be kind of necessary to resemble everything in the show. It also looks like he has some kind of like conch shell, like the magic conch shell right here on the stand, which is a pretty cool reference as well. And he gets a jellyfishing net right there. Now, it would have been cool if, since they did this section so bare bones, I kind of would have preferred a kind of kitchen build because his kitchen looks so cool. And if you were only gonna do one room, maybe like cut this section off to only like of the front and scale it down a bit, and then give us a bit of a kitchen in the back. Because right now Gary's just eating outside in the void, the black void of 18 plus suffering. Honestly, as much as I was excited for this set, the more I look at it, I just feel like a wave of disappointment. I know that's going to be a controversial take because it does look so good, especially the outside with all the little triangle things. I have no idea how they were able to do it without you directly seeing into the house. I mean, it looks fantastic with the lines of like the squares and all the shapes they were able to capture. That all looks great. You even get some jellyfish on the side here, which unfortunately aren't like printed or anything, but they're still like pretty cool. You got a little slopes in the shaping of everything over here. But there's just like a little wave of disappointment of I know they could have done better. We've seen idea sets do better versions of it, and I think they wasted budget on stuff they didn't need to. Like that SpongeBob body mold that makes him way too big, granted, really brings everything down, and it probably wasted a good bit of the budget because that's a completely new mold. It's not like it takes any element from anything else. Like the arms obviously are minions, but like the whole torso just seems like you could have just done a recasting like they did of Squidward of that same old head mold, and it would have been a better scale. I mean, we don't even get like a Krusty Krab hat or any sort of Krusty Krab reference, which I do find a bit disappointing there as well. Overall, I'm still gonna get this set. I love SpongeBob more than any animated show ever, quite frankly, and I'm gonna review it for you guys. I think it comes out September 1st. I'm not sure if that's right. Yep, September. 1,794 pieces for $220. I'm very interested to see more pictures from this. But right now, I'm kind of feeling very mixed. But guys, you can really let me know what you think of everything here. Of course, you know my feelings. I'd love to hear yours in the comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and like this video. Here is where I'm going to be posting some more of my riskier LEGO leaks things, because this is not an official reveal yet. I'll talk about official reveals on my main channel, but for right now, I did get a copyright strike from Disney, and I don't really want to lose my channel because it took me so long to get monetized there. So I want to kind of keep the riskier leaks on this side. But guys, that's all I got for you today. Have a good one, y'all. See ya.